Croeso I bysgota Cymru. Welcome to Fishing in Wales. There are some hidden gems in Wales, places you can only dream of. Stunning scenery, amazing locations, with both wild and stocked fish, from tackle-testing monsters to the wiliest of wildies. Croeso I Llynnoedd Cymru. That means welcome to the lakes of Wales. And whatever part of Wales you go to, there are wonderful ones, whether it's high mountain where you've got to get a backpack and get the walking boots on, or lowland waters where you can drive to the bankside. And today, we're fishing on Frongoch, one of the lakes near Aberystwyth. And let's hope we can catch a few fish. To tackle these wonderful lakes, keep it simple. First of all, look at the rod. Now, on a day like this, it's quite cold. I might want to be casting a bit of distance, so 9'6" for a 6-weight is ideal. If you want a lot of fun in the summer when the fish are feeding on the top, then I'll drop down to a 9 foot for a 5-weight. You can still get a bit of distance, but it's great fishing the margin. So the lighter the equipment, the more fun you'll have. A floating line, if you want, take an intermediate for those really cold days, but I'm quite happy to actually a 9'6" rod with one floating line, and I'm keeping everything light. So everything's kept in my jacket, a couple of boxes of flies, simple and easy. One of them is I got a few lures, and even if you're fishing for wild brown trout, they'll still take a lure. So those cold days, if there's nothing hatching, you want to get an aggressive response from that wild fish, they might take a lure. On the other side, we've got the traditional wet flies. Bob flies, so I'll use one in conjunction with the lure. So you just have something in the surface to entice the fish to come up. And then the nice side, the dry fly box. Always have a good selection, because most of the lakes of Wales, some are rich aquatically, but a lot of them are terrestrial based, so it's a lot of the insects that are landing on the surface. So have a good selection of dry flies. Now, you don't have to be an entomologist, but see what's landing, have a look in your box. If you've got something the same size, some similar colour, you'll be fine. All these in the pocket there. I've got all my tools in the necklace. Few spare spools of nylon in the other pocket. That's all I need. However, if you're going for a longer day, and that means you're climbing the mountains of Snowdonia and you're going to put a lot of effort, then a nice backpack, take some food with you, a little bit more kit, and be careful, because some of these lakes are in wild places. Know where you're going, know how to get back, because the mist can come in. So the one thing with those out of way places, they're hard work to get there, but the prize at the end is well worthwhile putting the effort in.
Llyns are a particular favourite of mine. I've been fishing them for about 20 years. It's got to be the remoteness, the feel of the countryside, beautiful hills. You know, it's the entire package of solitude, and of course the great fishing. They're full of wild trout, and you know, it's the whole experience, just getting outdoors into the wild. And yeah, they're fantastic places, and there's a huge variety as well. People have fished on these for hundreds of years and developed all sorts of flies and techniques, and of course the angling clubs are the custodians of these Llyns, and that's a great part of Welsh fishing culture, that we've got hundreds of angling clubs, and it's from those clubs that you can get your day tickets and season tickets in order to fish these lovely places. I mean, the one we're on today is run by the Aberystwyth Angling Association, and they charge just £20 a day, and that's a 24-hour ticket, which allows you to fish 10 of these Llyns, and there's a huge variety. So some of them are like this, sort of nice rolling hills, and some of them are spectacular mountain Llyns, you know, and it's all under the same ticket. So you'll find beautiful mountains, rolling green hills, steep bracken-clothed valleys, with the red kites wheeling overhead. You know, it really is a fantastic place to find wild fish. And for me, it's all about the adventure. You know, it's getting out into the countryside as an outdoors experience. I mean, sometimes I'll walk miles and miles into the mountains, you know, to fish a Llyn that probably hasn't seen a fisherman for a year or so, and catch some spectacular wild trout. But you've got, you know, a Llyn for everyone in Wales, so not just those far-flung remote places. Like the one we're on today, Llyn Ffrongorch, is really accessible on the side of the road. But as you can see, it's a really tranquil spot, nobody about. You can just hear the wildlife in the background, and it's great fishing. Plenty of fish today. You know, you'll always find one that's fishing well. A lot of these Llyns now are available on the Fishing Passport with the YNS Foundation. So you're able to book your tickets online through the website and just head out. It's as easy as that. And that makes it really good for making the call with the weather, or if you just fancy it, you know, and you really want to get out and fish, short notice, go on the website and book. And there are a number of Llyns available on that site. There's probably around 50 that you can choose from. And you've got other ways of getting the tickets as well, such as through tackle shops, news agents. There's all sorts of places you can get your tickets. And again, all of this information is going to be on the new Fishing in Wales website.
If you've never fished a Llyn before, one of the first important things is look at the margins. Never walk into a place you haven't actually put your flies in the first place. And you've got, you've got to be mobile. That was, oh, look at that. It's a brownie. These fish are so inconsiderate. There's me trying to explain tactics, and the fish, look at that. Small little brownie, perfect. Oh, nice red spots. And that's, if you put the effort in, you get little bars of gold, such as that. Beautiful fish. We'll just get him back. There he goes. Right, as I was saying, first of all, fish the margins. Don't be, it's not like a reservoir. You're not trying to cast out into the middle of the lake. The fish are where the food are, and you have to be mobile. So think of this, fishing directly down the side. Move out, move out, move out. You have to find the fish. It's not a case of staying in one spot and waiting the fish to come to you. They're territorial. They've got their little nook and cranny. That's where they live. You've got to find them, as opposed to waiting for them to find you. And then just keep on walking until you come across a beautiful fish such as that one. one thing with these types of lakes or Llyns is it's not pristine, it's not kept, it's wild. And you're going to come across the trees, the banks, the heather, the reeds. I'm going to give you a little tip here. Always when you're fishing, keep your line in your hand so you can walk up the bank easily without dragging all through the vegetation and get hooked up in there. So it's very similar to river fishing, and that way you can be mobile, cover a lot more water with the hope of actually intercepting where those fish are going into their territory. So a couple of pulls, now I've got room to keep everything in my hand, simple and easy. And the other tip I'm going to give you is lift away from the bank using your top dropper as if it's trying to escape the water surface. So it looks like a natural insect trying to escape, and you will be surprised how close you'll get those takes. And then with all that line in your hand, it's easy to let it go and you can move up the bank and not worry about catching a line or ruin it in the reeds. Lake fishing to me is stepping back in time. Reedy banks like that is where I started fly fishing. My dad actually used to carry me through the reeds because my legs were too small, plonk me in the side of a lake and then let me fish. And that was on the upper Llyn Egnant in the Tyvi pools. So it's like turning the clock back, and it's a different way of fishing. It is turning back to the old way of casting and walking and casting and walking, not like your stocked reservoirs nowadays where you stand in one place. It's being mobile, and it's a great escape. No matter what is going on in your life, whether you live in a city or you're busy all the time, get out on one of the lakes of Wales. The time stands still. You're relaxed, and the only thing you're worried about is your next cast and hopefully catching a fish. And you forget about all the troubles. And tell you what, you can forget your mobile phone as well, because normally there isn't a signal on the lake. I'll take it anyway, because you can take a beautiful picture of a gorgeous bar of gold if you catch a fish. Oh, look at that! He came right up. As I talked about catching a bar of gold, he came straight up. Oh, look at that! And it is a nice fish as well. And that's why you carry a mobile phone, to take a picture of a wonderful wild brown trout. Thank you, mate. Discover fishing in Wales.